just send translation for our colleagues in English, your words, Marta, okay? So, тому, колеги, перед нами Марта Лоренцо, колишня очільниця два терміни поспіль відділу університетських музеїв і колекцій УМАК, так, як окремого комітету ICOM. Також теперішній голова Ендрю Сімпсон з Австралії, і Себастьян Собіран, голова Universeum, тобто теж організація, яка займається охороною університетської спадщини в європейському контексті, і Хуберт Ковальський, наші колеги з Польщі, УМАК Польща. Власне, минулого серпня я брала участь в конференції і так несподівано робила доповідь про стан університетської спадщини. І, зрештою, як результат цього виступу і з'явилася наша зустріч. Дякую за те, що відгукнулися, тому що це насправді були окремі моменти менеджерські, але тим не менш ви тут. І дякую вам за це. І, зрештою, сподіваємося, головне наше завдання – проінформувати про стан конкретний у ваших закладах. І я також попереджала вас в листі, буде супер, якщо ви зможете говорити англійською, а якщо ні, тоді коротко буду перекладати я. Тому дякую вам. Також сподіваюся, що ви будете зараз вже зголошуватися і нам коротко розповідати, власне, про те, який стан у вас. Так? Можливо, окей, maybe someone would like to be the first just to tell anything about current situation at University Museum. Чи є у нас хтось, хто б хотів перший розпочати? Можливо, українською, це не принципово, так? Анна Парубець, ми з вами сьогодні переписувались на ФБ. Що скажете? Але у вас звук вимкнений? Анна, звук?
Чутно мені? Мене чутно?
Так.
Доброго ранку. Я буду українською, бо, на жаль, англійська моя не така, яка б хотілося б. Я працюю в Ніжині, Ніжинський державний університет імені Миколи Гоголя. Якщо дуже коротко, то на сьогоднішній день в нашому університеті функціонує такий музейний комплекс великий, 8 музеїв в складі нашого комплексу, від класичної картинної галереї до інтерактивного скансену. На сьогодні працюють, зрозуміло, що не всі музеї, бо військовий стан, і ми не маємо можливості і права такого основні фонди зараз презентувати. Тому картинна галерея не працює у нас. Щоб ви розуміли, картинна галерея єдина в Україні при закладі вищої освіти, тобто це живопис 16, 17, 18, 19 століть. Це колекція, яка була подарована всередині 19 століття ще безбородьками, засновниками. Унікальна колекція, але в березні місяці зрозуміло, що ми її перенесли в фонд, і зараз вона не функціонує. Але активно функціонують інші музеї. От у нас тривають музейні тижні, музей історії університету, наші першокурсники відвідують. Це обов'язково така у них зустріч з музеями. І на сьогодні от активно, я зараз на роботі, якщо там я перепрошую вимикатись, бо в принципі і зараз в мене робочий процес триває. З приводу нагальних проблем, які на сьогоднішній день, я думаю, що вони в принципі такі, як у всіх університетських музеїв, це катастрофічна така нехватка, не вистачає нам штатних одиниць, бо 8 музеїв, а працює в музейному комплексі на сьогоднішній день декілька чоловік. Тобто просто фактично не вистачає рук. Це проблема така вже локальна, я думаю, конкретна. А проблеми глобальні, на жаль, ми стикнулися з проблемами цими в березні, на початку березня, коли ми зрозуміли, що в принципі університет залишився сам. Жодного, не те що підтримки, жодного, один лист лише прийшов до нас в університет від Міністерства освіти, в якому запитували, чи потребуємо ми евакуації. Цей лист прийшов на початку квітня.
Гаразд. Анна, перепрошую, що змушена вас перебити, щоб... Дякую вам за вступ. Okay, and just a brief translation about situation at Gogol Nizhyn State University. named after Mykola Gogol. It's north of Ukraine. It's a territory where Zwa like beginning at the end of February. So this university have general museum complex, age museum, and art gallery. A lot of pictures from 18th to 19th century. It's I think biggest art gallery at university gallery in Ukraine. And now all museum works, only art gallery didn't work because exhibits aren't at the place. But another two biggest problem. First one is connected with the staff, because museum complex, I've said about 8 museums, but only maybe probably 4 or 5 people for organizing anywhere. And also our Ministry of Education only on March have sent some letter about what can we do. Only one letter about possibility to support the not collection, but probably the university in general and collection also. So it's about Nizhyn State University.
Дякую за переклад, пані Світлана.
Так, і теж би хотіла, щоб колеги ви говорили так коротко, щоб я могла простіше перекладати, бо я теж в цьому не маю досвіду.
Thank you. Thank you, Svetlana. I will just add 2 things. First, for people who are watching the live transcription, it doesn't work very well in Ukrainian, so don't worry. It gives, weird words. That's one thing, but it works in English, and that improves accessibility of our meeting. And the second is, I would ask everyone, we have 32 professionals. It's a fantastic number here. So I would ask all of them to be very brief and to the point, because we have the matter of translation, and we would also like to hear all of you. Okay, Svetlana, go ahead. Continue, please.
Мова йде про те, що оскільки хочемо почути якомога більше і всіх, і в нас є година, щоб ми встигли це зробити, тому прохання бути радше лаконічними. І також зголошуватись, можливо, в чат, хто там хотів би бути наступним, щоб це було зручніше. Але я б хотіла Сергій Нємцев з Херсону. Чи можете ви нам сказати кілька слів, бо ми знаємо про Херсон в окупації, і Сергій Нємцев from Kherson State University, because Kherson is under occupation here now, and it's really interesting for us to know what is going on with collection. So, Сергій, будь ласка, кілька слів.
Absolutely. Let's hear.
Добрий день. Справа в тому, що я виїхав на початку травня з Херсону, і я просто закрив свій музей, і документацію всю музейну я забрав до себе додому, і вона в мене лишилась вдома, а колекція лишилась в моєму фондосховищі. І в середині червня росіяни захопили фізичний контроль над університетом, і з цього моменту у нас немає інформації про стан колекції. Тому я не можу сказати, в якому вона зараз стані.
Okay.
А буквально останніми днями у нас почались наші війська обстрілювати місця скупчення росіян, і це вже достатньо близько університету, тому ризиків достатньо багато.
Дякую, Сергій. Brief translation, it's about Kherson and the occupation, and Sergei left Kherson on the middle of May just to close the exhibition, archaeological exhibition is in the Funds, yes, and the room is closed, so just by keys, and in June, Russia army captured the territory of university and till now it's under the Russian occupation. But Sergei said also that 5 days ago, the territory of war is too close to the territory of university, and it's really a risk what would be happen with university in general and with collection also. So.
Thank you so much, Sergey. And there are some people raising hand. I don't know if they want to ask questions or if they want to talk. I would suggest, for organization purpose, that for this moment, for this round, we only do the testimony. What is happening with the university museums and collections. And then, if we have time, let's ask questions, okay? So, Svetlana, you control. There's Victoria and Natalie wanting to speak.
Yeah, so Victoria Ivashenko from Kharkiv National University, named after Karazin. Victoria, you understand? So, зараз тільки розповідаємо. Якщо питання, дискусія, потім. Okay? Звук, будь ласка, Вікторія. Звук. Okay.
I am understand, and I'm glad to see all my colleagues, especially from Kharkiv, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to participate in this meeting. At first, I have to notice that the element of surprise didn't give a chance to make any serious step to save or evacuate museum collection. The bombing our city started immediately on the day of invasion, and public transport was stopped as well. So museum staff members didn't have private transport, and also they were living on the outskirts of the city. So some special measures in conservation of museum collection were not taken. Also, an organized evacuation of the university and its values was not arranged in the beginning. Neither university nor museum had well-arranged storage or packing materials. According to the experience of museum archaeology, there is here Irina Shramko, maybe she can say more than I, but basement our university is a wrong place to keep the collection safe. The problem university museums have to face in mostly caused by their status or lack of it. Museums are fully dependent on the university and financed by its special fund. The next issue comes from previous one, the funding of staff salaries, which was stopped 2 months after the beginning of military action. From April, just on one museum employee who was working remotely received the salary. Currently, the reorganization of staffing has been done in the university. It all center, museum, and our museum teams has been almost halved from.
Пані Вікторія, вибачте, що вас переб'ю. Могли б ви завершувати, щоб інших не могли?
No, maybe three main point, three problems. Need to conduct renovation. We have some destruction. It's small destruction now. I can
You can show the image. Yes, you can share.
Yes. After the bombing and temporary renovation. We understand it's a temporary problem, decision this problem. And next problem, long-term work to save museum collection. We connect this point with digitalizing our collection. We are beginning this process, but we haven't got a special program for this, and a serious challenge for us. It's the second problem. And the third problem, our museum staff without salary, without financiation, because our museum staff first need to search for other work, but they would stay in the museum and they are preparing improve professional skills by participating in museum programs, workshops, and other events. And we have a serious problem with remote work because we haven't got laptop programs and we have experience, but we haven't got opportunity for this.
Thank you. Thank you, Victoria. Wonderful. And it's good to learn that you managed to do some temporary renovation after the bombing, so that's a good thing. Svetlana, would you like to...
Yes.
Thank you. Я думаю, що оскільки інформація, яку говорила пані Вікторія, була більш для наших іноземних колег, will be to the next person, maybe пані Наталя Іванова, yes? So,
Natalia, yes. Go ahead, Natalia.
Я рада всіх вітати, буду говорити українською.
Тезово, так?
Що?
Будь ласка, тезово, щоб я могла перекласти.
Так, я буду дуже коротко, тому що мені потрібно йти на зустріч. Я одразу вибачусь, що я змушена буду покинути конференцію, бо я за кордоном зараз і в мене призначено зустріч, вибачайте. Але я дуже хотіла висловитися, тому що насправді я директорка Центру сучасного мистецтва Єрмілов-центр, і це Харківський національний університет імені Каразіна. І це єдиний центр сучасного мистецтва, насправді, у вищому навчальному закладі в Україні. І мій меседж буде такий, що зараз цей центр сучасного мистецтва працює як бомбосховище. Тобто він не може зараз працювати за своїм призначенням. Ми виконуємо зараз таку соціальну і громадянську місію, яку маємо виконувати, зважаючи на війну. Але і всю свою діяльність ми перенесли або в резиденцію, яка в нас є, або в онлайн-простір. От насправді для того, аби нам працювати в онлайн-просторі, робити онлайн-виставки, забезпечувати мистецьку присутність і кураторські проекти робити, тобто ми не маємо достатнього обладнання для цього, і ми це вже зрозуміли, тому що всі наші онлайн-проекти – це зараз просто фотографії, посилання, якісь медійні файли, посилання і таке інше. Тобто я впевнена, що те, що сьогодні створюють митці в Україні і в Харкові, зокрема, тому що ми знаємо, де перебуває Харків і яку потужність і силу він виявляє на всіх фронтах, в тому числі і на культурному. І тому оце мистецтво – це наша майбутня культурна спадщина, яке буде говорити про нас і про війну, і про те, як все відбувалося, більше, ніж ми будемо жити, скажімо так. Тобто наші нащадки будуть звертатися до цієї культурної спадщини. Тому, мені здається, варто її зберігати зараз і фізично, і в онлайн-просторі її зафіксувати. Ну, от мій меседж такий, і я зараз за забезпечення онлайн-присутності постійної. Для цього потрібні певні технічне обладнання, програмне забезпечення і фахівці. І я хочу ще сказати, що стосовно є такий момент підготовки і підвищення кваліфікації, наприклад, моїх працівників, які і так працюють в онлайні, Але, можливо, є якісь, прошу пропонувати нам можливості, де можна отримати ще якісь навички, як працювати музею, центру виставковому в онлайн-просторі. Тобто ми залюбки. Добре, дякую дуже.
Thank you, дякую. Natalia Ivanova from Yermilov Center. Colleagues, do you remember? I'm talking about Yermilov Center at Prague. Yes, it's about only one center of current modern university art. Yes, in Kharkiv. Now,
Світлана, вибачте, Center of Contemporary Art in Kharkiv University.
Contemporary art, and now this territory of the center is used like a shelter for civilian people. And Natalia said about that it's really the main task of two main points. First one is connected with the fact that the center tried to organize online activity, yes, activity in online sphere, and need more good equipment for this. And another task that war created a lot of specific type of cultural heritage, and the task of the center to preserve this cultural heritage and also its need fast equipment and probably some maybe courses, additional knowledge for staff, how it could be in modern world, in the digital era, and so on. So this it was
Thank
about.
you. Thank you so much. What happened to the collections? If it's being a shelter, just a very brief question. What happened to the collections?
Що сталося з колекціями, пані Наталю, в Ярмілов-центрі?
Ми не маємо як такої, ми скоріше, основна наша місія – це виставкові проєкти, міжнародні фестивалі і інші різні заходи, такі поточні, я б сказала. Тобто ми робимо проєкт. Але і в Україні, і за кордоном робили до війни, все така міжнародна колаборація в нас досить потужна. Але в нас є, звісно, роботи, які нам дарували художники і українські, і ті, які приймали участь там в наших проєктах, резиденціях. Вони зараз в безпечному місці, я не можу це коментувати, вони...
Okay, дякую.
Okay.
I forgot to talk about this, but Pani Natalia is abroad now, yeah, and it's Yermilov Center is mostly about temporary exhibitions. Some pictures exist,
Okay.
but
It's a gallery. It's more like a gallery. Okay. It's more like a gallery. Thank you, Natalia.
Лунячик Ростислав. So, прошу вас, якщо ви українською, то коротко, щоб я могла перекласти.
Доброго дня, колеги. Я представляю найбільший музей вузівський в Україні. Це музей природи Харківського університету. Музей займає площу більше 3000 квадратних метрів. Музей близько 300 тисяч експонатів, але музей тричі підпадав під обстріли, в тому числі на підвір'ї. У нас багато ось таких уламків. Це осколки, які пробили музей з усіх сторін. Наш музей дуже постраждав, немає 160 вікон, немає 15 діарам. Все це вибито, постраждали експонати, постраждали вітрини. Тому ми просимо допомоги. Зараз іде зима, ми не знаємо, буде у нас опалення чи не буде. І якщо буде допомога, вікна, якісь обігрівачі, то ми будемо дуже вдячні. Все, я закінчив дуже коротко. Дякую.
Okay. So,
what did he show? What did he show? Tell me.
Small translation.
Please.
Mr. Lunacek is representing one of the biggest university museums, the Museum of Nature for Kharkiv Karazin University. More than 3,000 square meters of area, and been exposed to the shell in at least 3 times. And you saw the consequences, what we found in the premises here. More than 160 windows were blown up, during this challenge. To be brief, we are asking for assistance of our colleagues. The winter is coming, and we are asking for some maybe heaters, maybe to cover the windows, OSB panels.
Right. Yes.
So that's
Yes.
the biggest issue for us.
Yes. So it's a natural history museum, a nature museum?
Yes, nature history, yes.
Natural
It's the biggest university museum in Ukraine in general, and the ancient Museum of Natural History museum.
Thank you so much to you both. Thank you so much.
Окей. Пані Мілена Чорна, будь ласка.
Yes, hi. Вітаю, колеги. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for letting me join. I'm from a museum crisis center, and what I would like to mention is it's a grassroots initiative of museum workers here in Ukraine. But the problem I see is that museum workers from museums of the universities, they are separate from the museum workers that are under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Culture. And we do not communicate between ourselves. We seldom communicate between ourselves. Perhaps we should make that change, and I've provided my contacts because, for instance, we can help with the packing materials. There is Alif Foundation, колеги, швейцарський фонд Alif. Я дала там контакти, будь ласка, напишіть мені ваші технічні потреби, я допоможу вам звернутися до них. Вони надають технічну допомогу, тобто генератори, generators, and etc. They can help with that, and technical equipment for digitizing, etc. They've helped, I believe, almost over 100 museums, and the Museum Crisis Center I work with, I volunteer for. We've helped 800 people financially, and we helped over 200 museums. Будь ласка, не вагайтесь, звертайтесь, допоможемо. The problem is we were always underfinanced, both museums of the universities and museums under the Ministry of Culture, always financed even prior to the war. And now we are losing professionals. That's the biggest problem I see for now. We are losing professionals because they're really cutting our salaries. They're really cutting salaries in regional museums. And that could be devastating because some of the museums are in evacuation. They lost their homes, and actually they lost the collections. Not because they could not evacuate, but because often they needed to have the special papers from the local governments, and they were hesitant to provide them. So our museum workers are really the best, and they're often risking their lives to save the collections. But unfortunately, it happens that they need papers to evacuate. And
Milena, fantastic. Fantastic.
One more, yes, just one more thesis, one more point. The Americans, some American colleagues, they initiated a project which is 1+1. If one museum, university museum, could take, patronage, making museums common is partnerships with Ukrainian museums, that would be really helpful because we do need your help. And thanks for standing with us. Thank you.
Milena, your contribution was fantastic because it gave really important information. And I would like to stress that ICOM-Ukraine is here. So there's really solidarity from the non-university museums in Ukraine and also Poland. And so it goes beyond. But at the moment, it's kind of difficult for me to mobilize all the, the help, but I'm sure something will come out of this meeting. Okay. So next, Svetlana. Sorry, I'm always entering in your place, but
yeah, everything is okay. So Олена Семененко, just, будь ласка, університети про музей.
Hello, everyone. We are representatives of Museum of History of Kharkiv National Medical University. We were luckier than our colleagues in that our building is still standing, but we have basically the same problems. We were underfinanced, awfully underfinanced even before the war, and now we're just struggling to keep our museum working. We don't have any packing materials. Our collection is still in the museum, and we can't remove it to the basement because there are no proper conditions to keep the papers, the photographs, some equipment, medical equipment of the 19th century, which we have in our collection. And we are now just very worried about all the exhibits because you know that Kharkiv is still under attack, and our building can be bombed any day, any moment. So we would be really grateful if our dear colleague could help us with some at least packing materials, so we could just prepare our collection in case if we need to evacuate it. That's probably the main problem now. Thank you so much for your attention, and thank you so much that you organized this meeting, which is so necessary for us all right now.
Thank you, Olena. Are you there? Are you near the museum, or are you away in somewhere else?
No, we are currently in Kharkiv. We didn't leave.
Okay.
We go to work every day. We are there.
Great.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you so
Great.
much. We are trying our best to preserve what we have.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you
Дякую.
so much.
Пані Катерина Астахова, будь ласка.
Шановні колеги, доброго дня. Дякуємо за можливість. Ректор Харків, приватний навчальний заклад, Народна українська академія. Якщо не заперечуєте, я українською, колега допоможе, щоб моя англійська нікого не лякала. Не заперечую?
Будь ласка, але коротко, щоб ми могли перекласти. Добре?
Безумовно. Перекладаємо власноруч.
Гаразд. Але просто тоді, якщо переклад, можливо, хтось відразу, чи у вас є текст, щоб ми не тягнули з української, бо ще хотіли почути інших людей.
Окей. У мене? Okay, we represent People's Ukrainian Academy in Kharkiv. We really appreciate your invitation here. And what we have to say, our complex was created in 1991, and in 1997, the Museum of History of People's Ukrainian Academy was created. Actually, during the war period, it suffered greatly because a rocket hit one of the buildings of our complex. Fortunately, that wasn't the complex, the building where our museum is situated. But to preserve all the exposition of our museum, we really need expenses, and we have to. We really need expenses. That's why we are asking for assistance and help. Our museum carries out also scientific work, and during the wartime, we realized two main projects that we are really proud of. This is first the workers of the academy wrote their narrative stories about the wartime period concerning the educational practices. And now we have about 100 stories written by the employees and teachers and students of the academy. And the second great project concerns the collection of photo documents that is called Kharkiv after the 24th of February.
Okay.
Well, these are authors' materials that are kept and that are gathered in our in our museum.
There is some noise, huh? There is some
Yes,
noise.
I'm sorry. Something wrong with my phone.
Go on.
Well, and to carry on this work, we really need help and support. That's why we are turning to you and represent our academy here today.
Okay, thank you. So it's representatives from Kharkiv People's Academy, and as a researcher this time, I would like to say that I know only some examples in Ukraine where university affairs, museum affairs at university have such big support from the side of rectorate. So it's really great examples. Thank you, Катерина Стахова. And було б супер, якби могли почути ще пан Віталій Тукан зі Скороди. Ви можете нам щось сказати? Бо я знаю, що там really hard situation with the University of Skovody, and it's really, будь ласка.
Я прошу прощения, телефон.
Good day, could I just...
Будь ласка, пані Людмила Михайлівна. Так, прошу.
Good day, colleges. I represent Kharkiv National Pedagogical University after Gregory Skovoroda. My name is Vitaly Tukan, is director Museum Complex University. Briefly about the state of our museum complex. It consists of 8 faculty museums. The total exposition fund is about 5,000 exhibits. After the outbreak of the war, our university complex found itself at the epicenter of the artillery shelling and hostilities. We were both evacuating employees. Access to museum collection was difficult. At the end of March, the university building was bombarded with artillery. Windows were shattering, and collection of stained glass windows of the theme of pedagogical history were destroyed. After some stabilization of the front, the partial evacuation of museum was carried off, but unfortunately, exhibits were taken out. Of 6 July, a Russian rocket attack was made of the university. The education building of the university was destroyed. The museum of the history of the university was destroyed by 18%. Exhibits that told about the history of Ukraine and pedagogically were destroyed. Today, the museum of the history of the university needs to be completely restored. We hope for the help of the foreign colleges in the restoration of the museum complex. Thank you.
Окей,
Трошки, шановні колеги, трошки це так, інформація для наших зрозумілих була. Трошки ситуацію для вас, щоб це було зрозуміло. Наш університет опинився в епіцентрі військових дій з самого початку вторгнення. Від лінії фронту до нашого університету було десь близько 7 кілометрів, і в принципі це дуже утруднювало. Ну, я думаю, всі люди, які зараз або були в Харкові, знають, що таке Салтівка лютого березня, тому в нас були деякі проблеми. Ну і ракетні артилерійські обстріли, гради на території університету, ну і те нещастя, яке сталося з нашим університетом 6 липня, коли прицільною ракетною атакою було зруйновано центральний корпус університету. Я думаю, ви з новин і з виступу нашого президента все чули. Тому музею історії університету фактично не існує, він на 70% зруйнований. І зараз в нас скажімо так, є певна робота проводиться по віртуальним екскурсіям, по тому, щоб музейний комплекс він працював, він працює, співробітники працюють віддалено, тому що ситуація в Халтовці, ну, відповідно, ви розумієте всі моменти.
Пане Віталію,
так.
Можна питання? Ви сказали про 70%, а 30%? Да? About 30% of saved materials.
Я зрозумів питання. Була проведена часткова евакуація деяких експонатів з музею до того, як у наш корпус влучила ракета, але вивезено досить мало було, тому що транспорт і всі інші моменти, і евакуація була розпочата, але, на жаль, в липні місяці в нас сталося таке от лихо. Що стосується інших музеїв, які входять до складу музейного комплексу, то вони частково вивезені, частково розташовані в безпечному місці, в сховищі, яке там є, але ситуація в нашому університеті, вона саме з музеєм історії університету, вона досить печальна, тому що все експозиційне обладнання, воно розбиті вітрини, розбиті шафи.
Зрозуміло. Вибачте, що перебиваю. Дякую, пане Віталію, дуже дякую. It's really interesting because I think the situation with this museum at this university is probably most complicated if comparing with another university museums in Ukraine. 70% is destroyed.
Destroyed.
Some,
70% of the building,
of museum of history, but this museum complex of this university includes another museums. Some foods are evacuated, not to Moscow, but in the safety places. Some left at Kharkiv.
Okay. So, protected. They were protected.
Attempt to protect.
Thank you so much, Vitaly. Thank you so much, Vitaly.
Yes. І було б дуже добре почути з Одеси пані Ганна Великодна. Because we have some representatives from Kharkiv, but it will be great if you can listen some people from Odessa, from south of Ukraine.
Yes, also very important. I'm incredibly grateful for all these people, sometimes from Kharkiv, because, I mean, we know what's happening, and we're all very grateful that you took the time to be with us this morning. Thank you so much. Let's hear from Odessa then, Svitlana.
Добре, пані Ганна, будь ласка.
Вітаю всіх. Я представляю наукову бібліотеку Одеського національного університету імені Мечникова. Це одна із найстаріших і найбільших бібліотек на півдні України. Наразі її фонд складає близько 4 мільйонів примірників, а фонд стародруків складає більше 116 тисяч. На основі фонду рідких книг і рукописів був створений експозиційний зал для демонстрації стародруків. Ця експозиція і отримала назву «Музей книги». У перші дні війни експозиція була знята, а потім силами співробітників наукової бібліотеки перенесено в безпечне місце, де знаходиться і зараз. Ні університет, ні наша бібліотека ніякої допомоги від міністерства та наразі інших організацій не отримувала. Але наразі наші примірники в безпечному місці і будемо сподіватися, що так воно і буде до кінця війни. Дякую.
Hanna Великодня represents Odessa National University named after Meshnikova, South Ukraine. From science.
Thank you, Hanna. Thank you, Hanna. Thank you.
She's from Museum of Ancient Book, yes, different centuries, yes, and the book are evacuated now in safety places. So it's great, but any university or museum of university, because this Odessa University has another biggest museum of natural history and another big museum.
Yes, very famous. It's very famous. The Natural History Museum of Odessa is very famous, worldwide.
they didn't receive any support from Minister of Culture, Minister of Education. You know, this balance, because they are coordinated from different sides, two different sides. One is side of Minister of Education, and another from Minister of Culture, but mostly of education.
Right, sure. Well, that's a problem. That's a problem we all share in university museums, whether we are at war or not.
I know, it's a situation not only in Ukraine.
Yeah, but of course, war aggravates the problems. War aggravates the problems, definitely. Thank you so much again, Hannah. And stay safe, please. Who's next, Svetlana?
Наразі я не бачу. I can see people who desire to tell us something. Okay, maybe.
Perhaps while somebody prepares to give a testimony, I could ask something, which is, are you connected in a network? Do you usually talk to each other? Is there, I mean, before the war or during the war, do you talk to each other? Do you update each other? At national level, I mean. How does it work?
Unfortunately, we don't have an active organization of UMAC-Ukraine. It's also a problem. It's a really not challenge, it's task for us, what we should to do, I think.
Of course. But for example, this could be an opportunity to get together and stay together, even if it's informal, you know, just have these meetings, regular meetings, which have like the benefit of knowing about each other, so showing solidarity with each other, but also imagine if we want to channel some solidarity, we would have to have some organization, even minimal, right? So it would be very important that you use this, anchor on us, UMAC and Universeum and Polish colleagues, to continue talking to each other, continue updating each other, and continuing resisting, the damage to heritage, to university heritage in Ukraine.
Ну, власне, Марта говорить про важливість об'єднання працівників університетських музеїв, тому що це, передусім, організація громадська, яка, коли одна людина, вона нічого не може зробити, власне, про можливість протистояння разом, і це однозначно має сенс. Okay. Just brief translation, yeah?
Thank you. I don't know if our colleague Anastasia from ICOM-Ukraine would like to say a few words too.
Oh, it would be great.
It will be great. Anastasia, where are you? Oh yeah, there she is.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you. Yes, please.
I'm here. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude for this meeting, for your efforts to help and to support Ukrainian university museums. Thank you so much. And of course, thank you so much for to our Ukrainian colleagues who actually can add to this, join this meeting. Thank you, all of you. And if I understand correctly, and if I can do some summarize from speeches of our colleagues, it's needed some funds for Ukrainian museum university staff, because due to this war, actually distracted not only building or collections, but also it's very damage of our economy. That's why it's going to cut budget, of course, especially of course for culture. That's why in Ukraine it were some but not so in such level as we actually need. I mean, financial support for museum staff, especially for museum staff of a university. And the second point, as I can see, it's also material, but actually Milena Chorna noticed about this, that it's rather, you know, we should do gathering together, because some of these supplies can provide initiative for Ukrainian heritage, штаб порятунку. And so it's the main two actually points as I can see. And of course, I agree with you, Marta. We should do the work of our network, not only for museum staff for museum university, but of course broadly. And we try to right now to this network by our national ICOM, but right now it's a little bit hard, because our board, it's only like me, but we are going to in 1 or 2 months to have election, so
Elections,
I think it's going to be better. So I again would like to express my gratitude, and in chat I of course write my mail to for all of my colleagues. Thank you so much. And also, sorry, colleagues, I've almost forget to add that actually it was some initiative from Museum of National University Taras Shevchenko and National Technical University KPI in Kyiv. They tried to create something like Ukrainian UMAC as well.
Yeah, we know.
They
It was
tried
some
to
years
do
ago.
something.
That was some years ago. But I think it didn't work out for reasons that now it's not the time to discuss. But I think that this is a great opportunity, because look, this meeting is already a network, all right? If we just compile the names and emails of everyone, and we stay together with our international colleagues, especially Poland, given the proximity, and also the work they've been doing to support both ICOM Poland and and our association. There's a National Association of University Museums. This is already a network, so we just have to keep in touch, and I'm sure I'm not anymore the chair of UMAC, so I cannot speak for UMAC, but I'm sure that UMAC will continue to support, as we did in other places like Lebanon, for example. I remember when there was the explosion in Lebanon, and it's part of our job to support, And I was going to ask you, Anastasia, there is ICOM itself is much larger than UMAC. ICOM, the big organization, and they have a program to support, museums in Ukraine. Is there a way that university museums can apply to that program? Is that a possibility?
Thank you for this question. Actually, we are. This is program for 1 year, and it's something like 20 and 27,000 of euro. But it's 20% of they support 90%, and actually it works this way. From National Committee of Ukraine, it could be 3 projects, and a National Committee of Ukraine can be partner, whatever it's going to be actually applicants. So of course it's wouldn't application only from ICOM-Ukraine. It's going to be actually application from museums, but through the national committee, and we do some text about this, and to propose and to push museums to create some this application. Actually, we heard about some Ukrainian museums. They want to participate in this program.
Wonderful, wonderful. Of course, many university museums are small, and they don't have sometimes the capacity even to apply to those programs. So they probably need help. But again, being together is easier than being alone, right? I was just before I give. I think I saw Milena wanting to add something, but
yes, but you said what I wanted to say. They cannot apply. They usually cannot apply. I'm sorry for interruption, but they are mostly structural departments, and to apply you have to be a separate item, and an NGO would be really helpful.
Yes, in fact, we have a very very fruitful partnership. When we helped university museums in Lebanon, it was through an NGO that we made it possible, okay? With ICOM Lebanon, okay, lots of partners, ICOM International, ICOM Lebanon, but also an NGO. And just one question that Andrew Simpson, Andrew, would you like to raise your question? Because there's another side to this coin, which is higher education.
Yeah, thank you, Marty. Yes, just a question which I posted in the chat. I'm wondering whether there are any international higher education associations which are possibly mobilizing to give support to the university sector in Ukraine, or whether it might be worth raising this issue with them, particularly in relation to all the challenges being held by museums and collections in Ukraine that we've been hearing about tonight. I'm also aware that there is individual sort of funding proposals that can be applied for through SAREC, and there is some funding available to assist, but it seems to me to be a matter of having a well-defined project, and maybe there is possibly a well-defined project associated specifically with the museum sector within higher education in Ukraine that we could think about applying for. But I think at this stage it's important that we just keep hearing these stories to get some sort of a sense of the scale of the problem. And as Marta said, you know, this is a good place to start to develop a network that can support each other in the longer term. Thank you.
Yeah, I was totally agree. I was just going to ask Hubert Kowalski from Poland. Tell us your perspective. How do you see things progressing from this point onwards? Tell us a little bit what you think. Are you there?
Yes, sure. Marta and Svetlana, you remember what I said in Prague, yes? We are here as a national association and we are in a quite good condition. All we need to help is the names of the museums in Ukraine, the names of the people, and what you really need. And if we will have this information, then we can be like a transfer, like a transmission belt with the support for you. It really, from my perspective, is not a problem because the money is around. The people that has this money, they are raising questions where and how. And we cannot, as an association, now say that at this place and this city, there are people that need some specific things. So it's a matter of your, I mean, Svetlana and Anastasia. If you will give us the list of the museums or the collections, then we can really do something, because this is the time for you. Okay, this is the time.
Fantastic, Hubert. You're my hero. Please, Svetlana, translate this to our colleagues, okay, so that everyone understood what the pledge.
Колега, тут питання головне. Насправді варто дуже чітко артикулювати. От є конкретний музей, в нього є такі колекції. Наразі він стикається з такою проблемою. Проблемою збереження, проблемою того, як пережити зиму, які потрібні генератори і подібне. Але конкретні речі для конкретного музею, за яким закріплена конкретна людина, яка може контролювати цей процес. А тоді наші колеги, в тому числі за допомогою і UMAC, і наших колег з Польщі, це ми і ICOM-Ukraine, ми зможемо вирішити цю проблему, принаймні спробувати це вирішити. Головне, тут потрібна чіткість передусім. І цю інформацію сподіваємося отримати від вас найближчим часом, ну і зрештою передати людям, які з тих чи інших причин не змогли доєднатися. Okay, and Sebastian, yes, would you like to ask something?
First, Andrew.
Andrew, okay.
First, Andrew,
yeah,
ahead,
thank
Andrew.
you. Just a very quick point to follow on from what Hubert is recommending, which I think is an excellent idea. It's all about corralling information that might help solve immediate pressing problems that people are facing. And look, UMAC would be perfectly happy to dedicate part of our website to this process. If we can gather short testimonials and statements about what the situation is in your part of Ukraine and what is needed most urgently, we can put it on the website. We can help to mobilize the whole international community of UMAC, if you like. And yeah, and let's just sort of see if we can sort of, you know, conjure up some useful assistance in some way. So yeah, we'd be happy to take up Hubert's suggestion and congregate that information and put it on the UMAC website, if that's what people would like us to do.
І ще, будь ласка, пан Василь, може сказати Одеса, with some words, okay?
Вітаю, колеги, мене чути? Чути, так? Музей історії Одеського національного технологічного університету діє вже майже 50 років. У нас більше 1300 експонатів. В основному це фотографії, документи, особисті речі, книги і ще багато таких цікавих експонатів. І зараз ми працюємо над тим, от ви сказали, Світлана, пані Світлана, про проблеми, як зберегти документи, яким часом, час невблаганний, вигорають чорнила і розсипається цей папір. Ми зараз саме над цим працюємо, от, над збереженням саме документів на паперових носіях цих експонатів. От, так що ось така, якби є проблема, я думаю, що в колег теж. Для цього потрібна спеціальна техніка. От, часом в той же самий принтер, якщо це велика якась там газета чи ще щось, воно просто не поміщається. От, так що ось так.
Okay, it's some information about gadgets for saving paper documents, because Pan Vasily represents Museum of History, Odessa University. But it's also
Thank you, Vasil. Right, I think it's time to wrap up our meeting, because it's been wonderful. Sebastian still wants to say something. Yeah, I forgot, Sebastian, you wanted to say something. Sorry. Go ahead, my friend.
No problem. No problem. Thank you very much for sharing all of this. And I can just push forward also what our colleagues from UMAC and Poland has been saying. So be sure that the board of Universeum will also be willing to help in that sense. I also heard that there were some needs, of course, of money funds and materials and everything, but also I heard about training. So I was wondering also, if we want to go there, how can we think about how we can help in the training things? If there is needs, then it will be also interesting to know how community can help in the training, especially because now I know online training is not the best, but it still can be very helpful. So we can organize that very easily with the community. And the second one, we should also think, because we're coming from the museum world, but we're also coming from universities. So we also should figure out with the different university networks like LERU, Cranbrook Group, and so on, how much help we can also get from there. Because it will be also a way to make our universities aware about the situation and the importance about preserving and this heritage, and that it's also part of their responsibility to be aware of this, and especially if we need to accompany with research and professionals scholarships, for instance. So that I'm very concerned also about the fact that you mentioned that because of the salary cuts or salary disappearance, there's lots of the big lack of professionals being engaged and being involved. So this is something we should be aware of, especially because there will be hopefully an aftermath. So we should be prepared for that also. How can we help to rebuild and reconstruct?
Я кілька слів перекладу, just some brief translation. Себастьян сказав про різні інші об'єднання міжнародні, які можуть допомогти, але їм теж потрібна чітка інформація. Ну і також про програми підвищення кваліфікації працівників, які, наприклад, онлайн, звичайно, офлайн краще, але це може бути і онлайн, тому що це теж як варіант, зрештою, так. Okay, and probably, Marta, I know that we don't have any time, but maybe Anastasia. Anastasia, I can't hear you. Oh, sorry, Marta. Sorry, I can't hear you. Just.
I'm sorry, I was muted. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So we have a few minutes, just 1 or 2 minutes. I would ask Anastasia to react to what Sebastian said, and then I would ask Andrew Simpson to close, as UMAC chair, to close this meeting. But in any case, just to make my final remark, Svetlana, look, this is easy. It's easier than the situation you're going through. It's just a matter of gathering information and getting yourselves organized. We're here to help, okay? But we need to compile the information in these fronts, like all the different types of collections, architects for buildings and so on, and training. So we're here to help. I'm sure everyone, there's people listening on YouTube, which I prefer to thank for being here with us. There's a larger community of university museums and collections listening. There's ICOM, there's ICOM Poland, there is ICOM-Ukraine, there is the Association of Polish University Museums. So we're here to help. It's just a matter of getting yourselves organized, and let's get this thing going, okay? Anastasia, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I would like to ask very briefly, actually, about I think your colleagues already know how you build this process, how actually, okay, when we gathering all needed information, for example, for training, like you, Sebastian, told us, how actually process will go in, how organize this process to providing needed information. Thank you.
Thank you. There's Olga Volk raised the hand. You have a few seconds. Please say what you want to say.
Yes, I understand. Dear colleagues, first of all, I would like to thank you for this fruitful, valuable, and interesting meeting. And I have only short question. Could you give for us, please, some information, some contacts where we can send information about our needs, please, in chat or some other channel of information? Thank you.
I think it will be my mail and I'll be gathering it.
Yeah, this is going to be the job of Svetlana. We kindly ask you, Svetlana, to assemble, you know, the email addresses of everyone and share with everyone. Thank you so much. Now, Andrew, UMAC, my dear friend, dear UMAC chair, could you please?
Yes, thank you very much, Marta. And look, my sincere thanks to Marta and Svetlana for organising what has been an absolutely extraordinary meeting. I've never attended something like this before. And it's great to hear from all of you. And it's also great to finish the meeting on a positive note that we can do something constructive and we can sort of carry what we've started tonight forward and try and get some positive changes happening. So Svetlana, yes, you will be assembling all this information for us and sharing it with UMAC and with Universeum and with Hubert's Association in Poland. And let's document people's experiences and document their needs and then see where we can take it from there. So thank you very much. I'm sure this is just the first of very many meetings. And Marta, as our past chair, thank you for the wonderful initiative of putting it together. We might have to call on you again for your wonderful initiative at times, even though you're no longer our chair, but I'm sure we'll be in touch. So thank you everybody for attending and giving us your time. After hearing all those terrible stories tonight, it's late here in Australia on the other side of the world. I now can't sleep. I've got to go and drink coffee and think about all the sort of terrible circumstances. The stories tonight about people risking their lives to try and protect collections were really quite harrowing and very, very personal. But anyway, let's finish now and let's keep in touch. Thank you very much again, Marta and Svetlana.